Welcome to another episode of the Chronicles of the Entrepreneur. As you remember, we said we usually approach life either through the fear or the faith mode, or the fear or faith approach. So these are the two major forces which affects our lives, our day-to-day lives. Now, on the fear mode, we discussed extensively that fear is a strong emotion which actually it's a strong and pleasant emotion which is associated to something either about to happen or has already happened. So that sense of worry and dread and anxiety which usually come to us is associated with fear, or it is fear itself. And if you recall, in the previous episode, we said there's fear. The fear can be in different phases. There is fear for the unknown. There's fear for failure. There's fear for rejection. And there is fear for loss. And ultimately, we know there is fear of death. So fear in its different phases affects how we achieve our life goals. Fear, on the other side, and I say it again, we can achieve our life desires, or we can achieve our life goals by fear or through fear, but it's not a good way for us to live our lives with. And on the contrary, we have the faith approach, or the faith mode. Now, the faith mode is that sense of when we approach life through a sense of abundance, a mindset of abundance, a mindset of possibility. When we start approaching our lives through that kind of a mindset, that is a faith mode, or we are operating in a faith mode. And when we do that, we automatically experience such feelings of joy, hope, and courage. So in today's episode, as I said, we are going to look into deeper and wider into the subject. I would like to start with something interesting here, which is you can see these numbers. Now, these numbers are frequencies. These numbers are frequencies. As you see, they start from somewhere 20 to plus. Now, a famous psychiatrist, Dr. David R. Hawkins, of the Institute of Neurotic Science, discovered that our emotions have a certain vibrational frequency. So through a technique called applied kinesiology, Dr. Hawkins was able to assign a vibrational tone, or a vibration frequency for each emotion. And according to him, when we are into a certain state of emotion, we emit a frequency which is equivalent to a certain hertz. You know, vibrational frequencies are measured into hertz. So, shortly written as Hz, like this. Now, so you understand that whatever, or how in whichever state you are emotionally, you are emitting a certain vibration, or you are emitting a certain frequency. Now, these frequencies come into a form of an electromagnetic form. We can't see with our eyes, but we can sense it. I'll give you an example. Have you ever read a message from someone and you feel like this person is insulting you. There's no voice into that message. There's no pictures in that message. It's just words. But when you read that, you read the word, you read the message, you feel like this person is insulting you. And you might respond with anger to that person, or reply to that person with anger. So you wonder, why just a text message would cause you to feel angry? So it means that the message, which was sent through a frequency, which came from a frequency of anger from that person, was decoded by your vibration, by your vibrational frequency as insult. Or have you ever wondered that you might be thinking of a person, and all of a sudden this person, you see this person calling you? So I want you to understand that our emotion, our thoughts, have an electromagnetic vibration which affects how things affects our lives, or affects the results of things in our lives. That means, according to Dr. Hawkins, shame is the lowest form of shame. When you are into a shame state, you will emit a very low vibrational frequency. But as you go through other stages or other emotions like guilty, apathy, depression, anxiety, lust, anger, pride, you'll find that your vibrational frequency is changing. And then you go to courage, hope, effort, gratitude, understanding, love, joy, peace, and enlightenment. This is a spectrum of emotional vibration or emotional frequencies that we as human beings experience or go through. Well, you remember in the previous episode, I said it is possible for someone to achieve their life desires, or to get their life desires, even if they are operating through a fear mode. And you understand that this red, all these emotions put in red, they are in a negative or in a fear mode, in the fear mode. Now, going downwards, you will, as you experience this kind of emotional vibrations, you will be going down and down through the negative energy pool, which I've named it a NEP. Now, when life happens to us, let me just try to put this thing in perspective. When we go through life, we have different events and circumstances which happens to us. When these events happen to us, there is a way we interpret these events. And the interpretation of our events creates a certain kind of emotional vibration. I'll take an example. If you lost your loved one, and after losing your loved one, maybe it's your spouse or your parent, after losing your loved one, and the interpretation you get in your mind that this is the end. I have no help. I have no future. If this is the interpretation that comes into your mind, then you will start going down the spiral or down the negative energy pool. You start feeling anger, anxiety, depression. Ultimately, you might find someone also committing suicide just because they have lost their loved one. So you wonder, and it is easier to say, that person died because he committed suicide because he lost his father. In essence, losing someone or losing your loved one by itself doesn't bring the problem. It is the interpretation that you put into that event. This is because there are some people who have lost their parents and yet they are still living. So you understand that it is our interpretation which assign meaning to the events that happen into our lives. If somebody has lost their job, or if somebody loses their job, if they interpret that event as a point whereby they needed to maybe go back and improve themselves, or work on their skills, or try new opportunities, this person will find themselves going upward the positive energy pool, the PEP. So this person will be courageous and hopeful, and will apply effort towards making sure that they are learning new skills, or they are adding to their skills whatever skill they are missing, so that they can become more better. So depending on the framework of your mind, or depending on what mode or on what approach is the default mode in yourself, whether it's a faith or it's a fear mode, that's how you are going to interpret life events. And your interpretation will be specifically for you, and it will affect other avenues of your life. You will find yourself experiencing all kind of negativity in your life if you're not careful. But you find yourself experiencing all kind of positive energy and emotions if you operate in a faith mode.